Formula 2 went for round 2 in Bahrain after a second round of testing at the circuit. Here's some of the key things that happened over this race weekend. In qualifying, rookie driver and F3 champion Leonardo Fornaroli in the Invicta was in another class compared to the other drivers, taking the pole position from Victor Martins with a 1:44. On the reverse grid for the sprint race, saw F2 leader coming into the round so far of Joshua Dirksen on the front row with Dina Beganovic. After having a great opportunity in the Ferrari in the FP1 F1 session, came 9th in qualifying. Luke Browning, another driver as well in the FP1 session in the Williams, was also the top rookie in that session and was able to put on a great qualifying time to be third on the grid for the feature race on Sunday. But in the sprint race, Pepe Marti was in a masterclass performance, starting from P11 to take the top spot on the last lap, better than his result last year, also starting P11 but finished third. He started 11th on the feature race as well. But in the last 5 laps of racing proved to shake up the final positions. Dirksen, who was on pole and led 2/3 of the race from first, however, safety cars, the power of DRS, and tire degradation came undone for him. Richard Verschoor, who was the most experienced driver on the field, started 5th, was able to take 2nd away from Dirksen, who came across 3rd along the line. Dina Beganovic, in the battles between the top 3 drivers and with Alex Dunn and Rafael Villagomez, was able to take 4th, but up and down the grid we saw cars make contact, stay on track, and even going 3 wide into turns. The last 5 laps of the race showed the drivers' skills and opportunities for great overtaking and defending. However, it's not Formula 2 without penalties and even a disqualification. In the opening lap, Emery Cordeiro made contact with Sebastian Montoya, ending his race. Cordeiro received a 10-second penalty for that. Dunn as well, having not just one 5-second penalty, but 2 post-race 5-second time penalties. One for making contact with another driver and another due to a safety car infringement. Unfortunately though, Joshua Dirksen was disqualified due to a technical infringement. This meant that Dina Beganovic was able to move up onto the podium and Verschoor to lead the championship going into the feature race. We finally have a feature race after the first round in Melbourne cancelled due to the weather. The feature race for 32 laps and a mandatory pit stop was also the 200th race in F2 history. It saw Leonardo Fornaroli starting from pole with Victor Martins in the new Williams Academy livery alongside the front row. There were drivers on split strategies throughout the grid. Martins with not a good start with a wheel spin, dropping down, allowing Alex Dunn and Fornaroli's teammate Roman Stanek to come up into the top 4, as well as Rafael Villagomez as well, battling for the top 3 at the start. Fornaroli, after the first lap, was able to break DRS, which was crucial for his race. The top 8 drivers after lap 2 leading the pack were all on the soft tires, but on the hard strategy was Luke Browning in P9. 6 laps in, Alex Dunn was able to catch up the leader and be within DRS, and the following lap was able to take the top spot and lead the race at turn 1. Down the grid at the same time, Pepe Marti was able to swap with Rafael Villagomez to take the last podium spot with 25 laps to go and the pit lane opening for the drivers. Lap 13 saw the top driver go into the pits. Swapping for hards was Victor Martins and Sebastian Montoya, but also swapping for the softs in an early choice of Richard Verschoor, Gabriel Mini, and Dina Beganovic. Following laps saw more of the top contenders pitting to get rid of the soft tires for the hards to go to the end of the race, which was a little bit early than expected. On lap 23, Luke Browning on the alternate strategy was able to move up to second just behind Alex Dunn, potentially making it a battle for the last few laps between them, both on different strategies. Dirksen as well was able to put a great move to gain 2 places into 9th on the corner of turn 3 from Stanek and John Bennett. Shortly after, Oliver Gotha came into battle too for the final place into the points. With 5 laps to go, Alex had a gap to Browning of over 6 seconds, but it was also Browning who still had the fastest lap, but on the final place of the podiums was Martins and Fornaroli battling back and forth at each turn. This also brought in Pepe Marti into the contention, along with Arvid Lindblad coming from behind to overtake 3 drivers at various corners to previously take P10 and the last points position over Stanek. With 3 laps to go, another great performance from Pepe Marti was able to overtake Martins for P4, fighting for another podium finish from having starting P11. But crossing the line with a comfortable gap in back-to-back feature race wins for Roading Motorsport in Bahrain saw Alex Dunn with an unfortunate sprint race with last lap damages and post-place penalties come in first with over 8 seconds ahead of Luke Browning. And after the last few laps of the race, battling for third, it was a grandstand finish on the last lap between Marti and Fornaroli. But it was Fornaroli that hangs on to take third, over 10 seconds behind Browning too. Alex Dunn makes history for the first Irish driver to win, and it's his first F2 race win, celebrating a historic day for 200 races in Formula 2. Now, we don't have to wait long until Formula 2 is back. We are back next weekend racing in Jeddah, supporting F1 and F1 Academy. However, currently in the standings are Fornaroli with 26 points. Tied for second is both Alex Dunn and Luke Browning. Pepe Marti is in fourth with 23 points, and Richard Shore is 21 points, rounding out the top 5. Now in the constructors, High Tech, with both of the drivers finishing in the points for the feature race, helps lead the championship with 37 points, Campos Racing with 31 points, Invicta with 30, MP Motorsport with 27, and Roading rounding out the top 5 with 25 points. As mentioned, we go back to racing in Jeddah next weekend, so make sure you are following Formula Reports for all your F2 news and updates.